could be faithful, honest, and true.
What's up, everybody? God, it's been a while. Golly, what's going on? So, this is Gratitude Unfiltered, episode 2, and good afternoon, Mary. Good to see you. Man, hi, Shamika. Hi, good to see you. So, it's been a while. There's been a lot of changes besides just the show name. I'm really be happy to be back on. It's so funny too because I feel completely discombobulated. Like this is the first time I've done this. I took for granted that in a 7.5 month time span, did 165 episodes of Joshua T. Berglund's Morning Gratitude, and here we are. Hi, Pony. Mary, good to see you. There's a lot. On today's episode, we're going to talk about passion versus opportunity, gratitude, of course, and I'm going back to LA. So there's plenty of changes happening, and I also want to give a shout out. You can't hear me? Can everyone else hear me? This is not fun if it's already starting. Lisa, turn up your volume. You can hear me, right? Okay. So one thing that I'm going to figure out on this new evolution of the Gratitude show and Gratitude Unfiltered is how to make interacting with the Facebook audience and podcast and radio all work at the same time. We're going to figure this out eventually. Why can't I hear you? This is weird. Can everyone else hear me? Hi, Veronica. I don't know if you can hear me or not. If you can hear me, tell me if you can hear me. Please. I can hear you. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. So as I was saying, the radio audience and the Facebook audience and the podcast audience, I want to find a way, and I'm going to find a way to make all this work and where everyone can communicate and everyone can talk. But so as you know, from the last time I did the show, I'm in a different room again. I'm back in the original room I was in, but now we're going to be going to LA for about a month and a half, and we'll explain that maybe longer. You never know. Hi, Wendy. How to see you? And Lisa still can't hear me. So I want to find out how to make all that work because I like this format. I like being able to talk to the Facebook audience, but as well as the radio and podcast audience too. So I really want to talk about something, and this is going to segue. I haven't done a lot of shows, and it's not because I don't like doing the show. I freaking love it. But I shared with you guys for a long time that, dadgum, when I first started doing videos, I was talking about the struggle and how like every opportunity I had kept falling through and blah, 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 blah. And it was so maddening and frustrating but God always was providing these miracles at the last minute. Well, then by the grace of God, I was given an opportunity to step in as a chief revenue officer for a position that helped me financially. But I want to talk about passion versus opportunity because there's an interesting mix of doing both. I've been a big proponent of chasing your dreams and pursuing your passion and going for stepping towards your purpose. I've talked about that so much because I was living it. And here's the problem. Chasing your passion and your purpose doesn't always lead to it doesn't always lead to money. It just doesn't. And here I am. My daughter moves to San Diego, and my dreams are coming true. All of a sudden, I have this job opportunity. I'm getting paid really well, and it's like, oh my God, this is it. Okay, I'm going to be able to do the show still, and I'm going to be able to, be able to promote and advertise the show and do all of that stuff. That's what I kept saying. Guess what happened? I didn't get to do the show. And it's real easy for people to say, well, what's the big freaking deal? It's just a show on Facebook or it's just a podcast. I don't think you get it. This is what I freaking care about. Like, I care about this show. I care about getting this on the radio. I care about being a voice for the voiceless. Like, that's what I live to do. And the minute I shifted that focus to focus on a freaking job in the stress and the working 20-hour days obsessively, 7 days a week in the short time span, just losing my mind, stress, vomiting, and look, and I'm not a pussy, okay? I'm not. I'm a tough guy. I've survived a lot. But the point of stress and working for a maniac and vomiting vile every morning because I was so stressed. And then because of the stress, diving into alcohol more aggressively than before. And not taking the time to do the show. One of the other things that matters about this show is that it also helps me stay accountable and it helps me stay on point. I preach all the time about having a morning routine and the importance of it. Writing for me, and it's reading my Bible too, and this, and writing, and getting my mind right. But when other things start to interfere with that, and other things start to get in the way, and you get distracted, and then I start half-assing my time with God and my time getting my mind right and focused and getting those freaking demons out of my head, eventually that passenger that I talked about, and I talked about on the first episode of the borderline personality disorder that I have, all of a sudden that thing gets louder and louder and louder, and eventually it just takes over. So where have I been? I've been gone. Like, the person that you guys knew and you guys watched and listened to on Morning Gratitude, that guy disappeared for a while. I'm just going to be honest with you. I got taken over, and I allowed it to happen. And to be honest with you, it started with when I went to ALA, and ALA was such a huge thing. Leadership Emotional Intelligence is amazing. But again, it took the place of God in my life. It did. I mean, Lisa, dude, Melody, what's up? I don't know if this has ever happened to any of you guys. Has this ever happened where you were like on this path that you were just crushing it, and then you allowed something else to slip in to take priority of that time and place? And has it ever happened to you guys? And so for me, that's dangerous, because then it becomes, I'm not having a couple drinks. Then it's, let's see how much I can drink, and not drinking for social. No. I'm drinking to like make the pain go away. And then I'm turning to drugs again. And that is not what I'm supposed to be. And then it's like, well, what am I supposed to freaking do? I mean, like, I understand that I had a choice not to drink, and but the thing that I allowed to consume, like, I chased money. I chased opportunity, aka money, to be able to provide. And all it did was turn me into a train wreck. So I'm not saying that don't take an opportunity. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you're going to do that, like if you're going to go after an opportunity, you got to make sure that you're still taking a step towards your passion every day. A step. Yeah, Lisa says it right there. See, there you go. Melody, it happens to me too. Distractions marked as priorities. Yes. Cocaine and binge drinking. Yeah, I get it. And so, like, I was probably irresponsible earlier when I started the show by saying, follow your passion and pursue it relentlessly. You also have to take care of your family, and you also have to take care of yourself, and you also don't need to stress out about how you're going to pay the freaking rent. Okay, there's a balance there. But I want to encourage you today to, if you're in one of those situations where you feel like you're not pursuing your passion, and you need to do that, but at the same time, you can't stop what you're doing to provide either. And there's a balance of both. And maybe, and again, and I have said this, that you do need to take at least a step towards your passion, because every day and what you feel like you're called to do, and then God will create the miracles for you. I believe that. But I'm right now a consequence of what happens when you completely walk away from your passion. And by the way, thank you for the hat, Kat, from New Dawn. I like the hat. It actually fits my head. And I'm wearing it only to say thank you, not that it matches the suit. So grounding in discernment and prayer. The enemy knows our weaknesses and packages and pray. Yes. You know what? You're right. Because that's exactly how it slipped in. And it's like, and I don't blame anyone but myself. You know, I mean, you have to make those choices. And I've just been one of those people that once I get engaged in something and I lock on and I go, hey, I got this. I'm 1,000 miles an hour straight ahead towards the target. I don't stop to look around at anything. And I allowed, I mean, and just fudge, man. Like, I allowed this work to take over, where I'm answering emails at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm getting up at 5 a.m. and instead of like taking that time to get my mind right, I'm answering emails first, and then trying to go read a devotional or the Bible, and like, I'm just like, all of a sudden, all I'm thinking about is the emails and the pile of work and all of that crap that I have to do to justify this insane salary that I'm getting. And guess what happened out of everything? Like, out of all of that stress and the vomiting and the like literally every morning vomiting bile and all of that stuff, all of that, come to find out, none of it was even worth it. It didn't change anything. All it did was set me back, gave me more learning experiences and things of like, dadgummit, here we go again. Let's not do this again. Let's learn from this experience. And I realize even more how important the show is to me, because it does hold me accountable. Like, doing the show at 9 a.m. Pacific forces me to get up at 5 a.m. and start my day, do my quiet time, go to the gym, and then come back, do the show, then start work. That's what that routine is good for me. When I get outside of that, man, it's like all hell breaks loose. So, you know, opportunity is an amazing thing. And for me, and after regrouping after this experience of basically a month and a half of my life going by and just thinking, that wasn't me. I was outside of my body, watching myself go through like watching myself run into a wall. And again, I talked about this last time. And let's see, I talked about this on the first episode. Like, the whole time this was happening, though, I felt God, like I could see him out of the corner of my eye, but I was so blinded and just taken over. But it was like the whole time God was saying, I got you. It was like, I'm going to let you run into a wall again. I'm going to let you wreck. I'm going to let you freaking hit the wall so hard, and I'm going to protect you from it, but I'm going to make this one hurt. And guess what he did? He made it hurt bad. And so it's led me to this. And I want to thank Manny Lopez, because he actually posted something today about passion versus opportunity. And I said passion all the way, because just chasing an opportunity, you know, it can take you off your path. And when it takes you off your path, and when you're not doing what God called you to do, you're a ticking time bomb. At least I am. I don't know how many of you experience that out there, but if you honestly, like if you get off that path that you feel like you were supposed to be on, what happens to you? What are the consequences of that for you? Focus, okay. Purpose fueled by passion. I love that. So, and also just in radio audience, podcast audience, you can always check out, just look up Gratitude Unfiltered on Facebook, and you can find the show and like you can interact with the audience. And again, like there's full of comments here. Lisa's here, Melody's here, Dr. Garcia's here. God, there's a lot of Garcias. What the heck is going on here? Which is kind of funny. I've got some news for you on Monday that's exciting because I am going to work in radio. Can't tell you what until Monday, but I'm going to tell you then. Wendy's here. Mary's here. Like it's an amazing, like you can interact and ask questions. So this is all like, I love this. So thank you guys for joining. So grounding, would you say purpose over position, my friend, focus on purpose fueled by passion. Yeah. Lesson learned. And I guess I saw this, cartoon on Facebook yesterday, and it was about this guy stuck out in the desert. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but this guy's stuck in the guy's stuck in the desert, and he's looking for water, and he's got this canteen. This is not a canteen. This is a glass of water, but he's got a canteen, and he's going to take a drink, and there's this little drop like that's coming out that he thinks it ends up being sand. Like, oh, crap. So then he gets on his knees and he starts praying to God. And then all of a sudden, boom, like he sees this faucet sticking out of the sand. And it's got a woman, she's got large breasts, and she's got all of these things. And she's got all of these things that were everywhere, Dr. Garcia says. Yes, the Garcias are everywhere. And it's like the temptation of this little faucet. And as he's going over to this faucet, he got, like, you see this hand come out of the screen. It's like, get out of the way. No, you want to go to this course. But that course looks like mountains and cactus and it's a further walk, and it's crazy. It's pure craziness and chaos over there, and ugly, and it looks challenging, and it looks hard. God goes, no, I'm going to the faucet that's right here, because this is the water. This is the water for me right here. This one that's right there with the girl with the big boobs. Like that's the water faucet I want. Keep walking. Keep trying to avoid God's hand and like get out of the way. And then like get out of my way. And then he goes. And he goes back, and God tries to move him from that faucet one more time and point to the scary path. The guy ignores him. So what happens? God even yanks that faucet into the ground, breaks off the nozzle. The guy's still not wanting to go on the path that God wants him. He booby traps this and like concocts this faucet, fixes it somehow, and then all he gets is a single drop of water. Because he had to do it his way. He ignored the path. Had he just gone to that path, not only would he have found an eternal spring, but he would have found an even better looking woman in that spring waiting with him with a martini. Now, obviously, I don't know like the point of that is this. Sometimes we get lazy, or sometimes we get so desperate we think that we jump at the first thing we think is going to fix the problem, or to fulfill a need, or it's going to satisfy a need. We're going to jump at the first thing, the thing that's right there, the thing that's easy. Straight up, I'm a victim of that. I victimized myself. It seemed like an amazing opportunity, but it consumed my life. It took over. It distracted from what was important to me. It distracted from the path. Hi, Jane. Carlos, my man. Good to see you, buddy. Katrina, good to see you. Jane Stewart. Hello. It distracted from the path that I was supposed to be on. And because I wanted like, here's the faucet. This one's closest to me. This is going to give me what I need, but it's not what God wanted for me. In fact, even getting sick, waking up. I think I've told you this, Carlos. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I told you that I was waking up like vomiting, vile, because of stress. It wasn't alcohol. It was stress. It was stress throwing up because this was happening from like when I wasn't drinking. But like it was so much stress and maddening, and it was triggering everything in me. Like instability is like one of the biggest triggers of my BPD, and it makes me insane. So I took the easy faucet. I went to the easy path instead of continuing to take the effort to do the thing that I felt called to do. And I'm at a position in my life now that God, like when I got out of jail the 6th time, God did not, like I made a deal with God that I was going to spend my life pursuing what he called me to do. This last month, completely ignored that promise. And in turn, I wreaked more havoc and hurt more people in the last month than I think I've hurt in a lifetime. I actually hurt people that I know love me. And it's like I couldn't stop it. I couldn't control it because I allowed it to slip in. I allowed it to take over my life. I allowed it to to become the priority. And look, I know God allowed it to happen. I know God was there waiting because he's not done with me yet. But let me just tell you that when God calls you to do something, you do it. Not everybody's going to have rough circumstances or consequences right away. But see, I'm at this point. I'm 39 years old. I spent a lifetime running away from what he called me to do. I've only been on a path for the last 3.5 years of pursuing him. And it hasn't been easy. It has been frustrating. I'm like, oh my God, this salary is going to be amazing. I want this. I'll take it. I'm like, hey, this is it. This is an answered prayer. Looking back at it, there's no way in hell that was an answered prayer. There was none. But it was like, yeah, I'm going to let you hit the wall again. And I'm going to let you hit it real hard. And then that wall is going to come back and fall on top of you. Like, that's what it's been like. Hi, Shelly. Good to see you. So it has been an adventurous month and a half. But I'm now back to pursuing my passion. I'm back to pursuing what I was called to do. And there's going to be consequences for my behavior over the last month. I know there's already been consequences, and it hasn't been easy. But I do want to express a huge amount of gratitude today for a gang of misfits that love me unconditionally. They've been there for me. I call them misfits because they're imperfect too. And I have to say, I Kat and Jason, and I could not be more, Ricky, and I could not be more thankful for them. But also I want to give a huge debt of gratitude to my ALA family, who I thought would bail on me after getting kicked out of ALA. They didn't. I've avoided